Here at Gathering, we're very much connected to energy, what's going on in the world, and how can we each utilize what's happening so that we can grow ourselves spiritually, stay more grounded and in tune in what's happening here. Our beautiful author, we just met Amy, who did this. She could see all the different traditions here. So we have, Words of Wisdom came from Alcoholics Anonymous, but we have Al-Anon, we have Coda, there's a 12-step program now for almost anything, I think, out there, right? There's separate ones for drugs, there's ones for dieting, there's ones for overeating, there's ones for, so it's all things. And we are an addicted society. Everybody likes their things and gets too hooked into it, and this is a way to come back to center, come back to finding yourself and not be lost by it all. So it's definitely something that has worked for millions of people, and so we celebrate it here at Gathering of Light. So we do it twice a year, so it's always like this challenge coming up, and something new, what else are we going to say about it? We talked about last time that we met was on the 12th step, the 12th step out of the 12 steps. And that one is haven't had a spiritual awakening is the first part of that. So we talked about this idea of a spiritual awakening. But now, the second part of that, you can't leave you hanging on the first part of it. You got to bring you into the second part of it. And that second part of it is about now we're going to carry that message to others who are suffering and then practice the principles in all our affairs. Taking all the things that we've learned and bringing it out into everything that we do. So I thought this would be a wonderful thing to talk about today, being that so many are getting together and that energy is out there to come together, because it's interesting how the 12 steps start with one word, we, and it ends with now we are going to take this out into and practice in our affairs and do it for others, helping another person. And this is all about community building, this is about spiritual support, this is about understanding, and what is our foundation, what is the basis? You'll notice all the songs today are all about remembering that you love, the prayer that we're here, you're going to surrender, we're going to let go, we're going to be in the presence, that there is help, no matter what we face in our lives, that there is help for it, and the fact that we can utilize our spiritual selves, our energetic selves, to do the kind of healing that we need in our lives is tremendous. It's amazing. But it needs focal points. So the earth itself, the earth has vortexes, energy points, right? Energy centers. You hear that about going to different places in the world where you can feel this vortex. I myself had gone recently to France, and one of the things that we went to, we climbed up this mountain into this cave where there's a group of early Christians that were called the Cathars. And the Cathars used to initiate their elders into this ceremony, and they would do it up in this cave because they found it was an energy point, because they believed that part of you being able to assist other people, that you needed to be connected to energy. Or in the 12 steps, that you turned your will and your life over to the care of a higher power that you understood, right? So you had to wake up a bit, right? That spiritual awakening, you had to wake up and be a part of it. And I watched, I physically was not going to do it, but some of the other members that were with us on the trip climbed up this edge of the cave, and I would say it was about as high as the top of this window here, with an indent in the cave, and it was sort of like triangular, opened up, and they would go in and they would have to just stand like this and kind of hold on a little bit, because it was only a hand's length away, to put themselves into this groove in the mountain. And the first woman that went up is very skeptic, really beautiful, wonderful woman, an accountant, very businesslike, she was there, going through a divorce, blah, 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 just get away with a bunch of women, maybe I'll have some fun. She climbs up onto this thing, she gets herself, because she's very athletic, she got up real quick. She got up, she went on like this, all of a sudden her body was twitching like this. The vortex, the energy that just came right through her, opening her up, moving her. And this is the thing that we need to do for the Cathars knew that. They knew this, they found this connection, this opening up. Are you ready to crack your heart open to give? To be able to give. Because in order to receive, you have to be able to give. It's a reciprocal cycle that we all need to be in this process. And this is what the 12 steps. So it starts out very right with the we. We will be here for you if you can admit, if you can surrender, if you can crack yourself open. And then at the end, and then if you will take that and give it to somebody else. If you will show up for somebody else, then you can keep it. But the moment you stop giving is the moment you start stopping to feel it. And this is such an important concept in spirituality. You know, in Buddhism, they say the three treasures of Buddhism is the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. Sangha is the community. The Dharma is the teaching. The Buddha is another person who led the way, who awakened, who showed you it can be done. Right? And then there are steps that you follow. And then you give it back. And you give it back. Right? And that's what it's saying here in our words of wisdom and how that works for us. You know, when I started doing Gathering of Light, that was over 30 years ago. It was big. What was big was, you know, self-help. I got it myself, right? That new age kind of talk. And everybody was out there, and everybody was a king in their castle, and everybody was in their self. And I go, well, why isn't anybody showing up for anybody else? Didn't make sense for me. Maybe that's one of the reasons why they called me on the phone. Anyway. So in AA, they said right away, the 12 steps, and there's nothing to watch the eyes of people open with wonder as they move from darkness into light. Some of these things from I'm just reading out of the big book here. So think about it. Where would we be if we didn't have each other? Where would you be on your spiritual journey if you didn't have somebody you can turn to, talk to, open up to? Yeah. It feels lonely. You feel almost crazy sometimes, right? Because everybody else has a different idea of what's going on. And nobody just to listen and to say, I hear you. Sounds like struggling. Or sounds like you're really feeling it. It must feel good. Enjoy it. Giving that permission. Allowing ourselves to open up to that. And this is the 12 steps in the big book. They say that the less people tolerated us, the more we withdrew from society, from life itself. The chilling vapor that is loneliness settled down, it thickened, ever becoming blacker. We're talking about going into such a black hole and finding a way out. This is a way out. The most difficult situations you can find yourself, through a spiritual path, there is a way out. This is the message, this is the hope, this is the way that we can work on it. But we need to be willing to do the work, and we need to be willing to show up for another. We need to be willing to take what we got and freely give. This is another one where I thought was really fun. It says, we can be the ones who take on the unspectacular but important tasks that make good 12-step work possible. Perhaps arranging the coffee and the cake after the meetings, where so many skeptical, suspicious newcomers have found confidence and comfort in the laughter and talk. This is 12-step work in the very best sense of the word. Freely you have received, freely give is the core of this part, 12 steps. And the final part, right? That you need to give it. It is something that coming here, it's, you know, many of you may have come today, okay, it's a little rain again, gonna stay in, but you didn't. You got up, you came out, you showed up. And in that action, you have told another person here, you're perfectly loved. prayers mattered. That you remembered what's important. And how beautiful that is. And how each one of us can take that memory and can take that with us. I remember working with somebody once. I used to be clinical director of a treatment facility. So I worked with alcoholics and addicts many years. And I remember someone saying to me once, I don't deserve it. I didn't deserve it, but I came into those rooms and they loved me. And they told me they would love me till I learned how to love myself. And I would remember where people sit in the room. And when I felt like using, I could picture that person sitting there and how disappointed and how hurt they would feel if I picked up and never came back. And that helped me get through. And this idea of this, how that helps, coming from that dark place, a physical malady, craving, and still came through the other side. Because of you, because of each other, because of support. It matters that we show up. It matters that we show up in that venue, in that, under those parameters, in this area of today, coming here and being here today. It matters. It changes lives. You're not just changing yourself, you're changing everybody here. And for this, we say hallelujah. For this, we say, we are so blessed. For this, we say, the hallelujah, by the way, is 1,000 thank yous. And that's why we say hallelujah. It's saying thank you and thank you and thank you. Thank you to the beloved for giving us more support. We got lost again. Well, every step of the way, one of the Baha'i traditions, the progressive revelation, every time humanity gets lost and stuck in itself, there's a message out there from the universe. Wake up, I want to give you some more tools. I'm going to help you out. I'm going to help lift you. I'm going to bring you to another place. 90 years ago, we got some more help. Very practical help to help us get out of our own way and help each other to continue to succeed. So thank you for who you are. Thank you for carrying the message of love and support the way you uniquely